Hi, this is Richard, and today I'm going to talk about organizational structure, culture, and behavior. To start with, let's know what is organizational structure. It defines how job tasks are formally divided, grouped, and coordinated. Specifically, there are 6 key elements the managers need to address when they design an organizational structure. First is work specialization. The degree to which tasks in the organization are subdivided into separate jobs. The division of labor and the early auto assembly plants in the US are examples of this. The second one is departmentalization. This is the basis by which jobs are grouped together. The most common ways of doing this is by function. Example, marketing. Next is chain of command, the unbroken line of authority that extends from the top of the organization to the lowest and clarifies who reports to whom. The fourth one is the span of control. This refers to the number of subordinates a manager can efficiently and effectively direct. The fifth one is centralization and decentralization. Centralization is a degree to which decision-making is concentrated at a single point in the organization, while decentralization is when decision discretion is pushed down to the lower-level employees. The last one, which is the sixth one, is formalization. This is the degree to which jobs within the organization are standardized. If the job is highly formalized, then the job incumbent has a minimum amount of discretion over what is to be done, when is to be done, and how an employee should do it. So those were the 6 key elements of organizational structure. Now, there are common organizational structure designs. First is the simple structure. The simple structure is a flat organization. It usually has only 2 or 3 vertical levels, a loose body of employees, and one individual in whom the decision-making authority is centralized. The second one is bureaucracy. It is characterized by highly routine operating tasks achieved through specialization, very formalized rules and regulations, tasks that are grouped into functional departments, centralized authority, narrow spans of control, and decision-making that follows a chain of command. The third one, which is the last one, is the matrix structure. The most obvious structural characteristic of the matrix is that it breaks the unity of command concept. Employees in the matrix have 2 bosses, their functional department managers and their product managers. Therefore, the matrix has a dual chain of command. In my workplace, I believe that organizational structure is an essential factor which influences people's behavior. I have seen and experienced how organizational structure affects organizational behavior through the formal limitations set by the division of labor, authority distribution, grouping of units, and coordination. Because of the limitations and standards set by our organization structure, employees work and act accordingly. So I can say that one's behavior in an organization is the result of the impact of its structure, and I want to note that it depends on the design of the organizational structure. Not only that, organizational behavior could also be the influence of the other factors. Therefore, studying the organizational structure is important for a comprehensive understanding of the behavior of the members of the organization. So, we're done talking about organizational structure. Now, let's talk about organizational culture. Organizational culture is a collection of values, expectations, and practices that guide and inform the actions of all team members. Think of it as a collection of traits that make your company what it is. A great culture exemplifies positive traits that lead to improved performance, while dysfunctional company culture brings out qualities that can hinder even the most successful organizations. Now, what are the different types of organizational culture? First, we have clan culture. Clan culture nurtures those who work within the company and emphasizes interpersonal relationships, communication, and collaboration. By doing so, it aims to create one big happy family. Clan culture has its advantages. Clan culture breaks down barriers and results in strong, tight-knit teams. Mentoring relationships flourish. People share knowledge and leaders readily turn to their people for feedback and ideas. It is also a model that embraces change. Think of flexibility and startups. Clan culture also had its disadvantages. As the company gets bigger, this horizontal structure can cause limitations as it lacks a strong, decisive leadership needed to drive the business forward and provide clear direction. The focus on individuality can also lead to personality clashes without the hierarchy often needed for decision-making. People can lose sight of where they fit in. The apparent lack of rules can open up the potential for inappropriate behavior, like discrimination. Next is the advocacy culture. Advocacy culture prizes innovation and initiative and rides the waves of change with confidence. This cultural model rewards confidence and creativity, and the door is always open for people with bright ideas, whatever their position is in the company. The downside of this culture is that it can ramp up competition in the workplace. When a business takes risks and stakes are high, there's always a chance that those risks won't pay off, and that can be damaging for individuals as well as the organization itself. Next is the market culture. Market culture needs stability to function, making it a common feature in bigger and long-established companies. Team often meets targets, exceed expectations, and help maximize profits. This is an organizational culture that unites teams in the quest for a big win to benefit its customers or its shareholders. It can be a rewarding environment for employees too. Burned out, being constantly pushed to achieve a highly competitive environment can significantly impact employees' health and well-being and their ability to collaborate. It can affect productivity and morale, which can have a damaging effect on the bottom line. The last one is the hierarchy culture, a place for everyone and everyone in their place. There's a formality in this particular organizational culture, with leaders at the top and an established chain of command. This is a perfect working environment. The structure creates a sense of security and lays out a clear path for promotion, and it increases status and influence that comes with it. For its disadvantages, there's a little or no room for spontaneous creativity, and without this innovative spirit, companies can be slow to adapt, and the risk is to become less competitive. Recognition through promotion can bring unhealthy levels of competition. Now, how can you change your organization's culture? Identifying your current cultural type is the first step. What are its strengths and weaknesses? Is it keeping pace with the changes in the marketplace and in the wider world? Examine the unspoken norms, assumptions, and expectations. Look at how people behave towards each other, their daily working habits, and what your high-performing employees have in common. Your aim is to understand the way people work. Once you know where you are, you can think about where you want to be, and you can identify which elements of the different organizational culture types are best fit for your vision. There are 5 steps to sustain and create a positive organizational culture. First is you have to define your core values. Second is to lead the way. The third one is to engage employees. The fourth one is to recruit the right people. The last one, which is the 5th one, is be consistent and be patient. I believe that organizational culture is an essential factor of organizational behavior, inasmuch as it directs the way people behave in an organization by operating from within and by determining assumptions, values, norms, and attitudes according to which organization members guide themselves in everyday actions in the organization.